Hello, my friend. Today I want to talk about lipedema again because about 4 videos ago, something like that, I did a video randomly on my lipedema journey and was blown away by the sheer number of you that came forward to talk about it. So this very much feels like thyroid disease 30 years ago. Nobody seems to be able to get diagnosed. Nobody knows if they've got it. Doctors don't seem to know about it, don't know what tests are run. Nobody knows anything. So I thought I would share what little I know and how I go about figuring out if something is likely to be me. It may be useful for you. I thought I would take the same route as I have always done with thyroid disease and women who cannot seem to get diagnosed properly. And that's to gather together all the information I know of around the issue. So in this case, lipedema. I have also added a checklist for you down in the description box because I thought it might be handy for you to be able to tick off everything that is applicable to you. And then if you have enough of those ticks that you think this could be me, then perhaps you can take that to your doctor, to your medical advisor, whoever you deal with, to try and take it further if you wish. So that's the best I can do in the way of helping you at this point from what I've read in all of the comments from that last video. Let's talk about the checklist of lipedema. I am not a medical doctor. This is not meant to diagnose you. That's my disclaimer. This may just tie some weird things together for you and help you understand what's going on and maybe help your doctor to look a bit deeper into what's happening with you. That's all it's meant to achieve. Because there were so many of you that commented on that lipedema video a few videos ago and reached out to me, I was like, oh, what would I do in this position? Or what have I done? First of all, the thing I do is I take inventory. What is everything that I can find out about lipedema? What are the comorbidities? What are the symptoms? Everything that I can find. So that's what this list is. Okay. So lipedema, the painful fat syndrome, the disease they call fat. What is lipedema? First of all, if you've not watched any other videos around this, it is fat in the subcutaneous tissues. So if you've heard of leaky gut syndrome, this is kind of like leaky lymphatic syndrome, where the fat has leaked out of your lymphatics and into your interstitial tissue, causing lumps of fat in your subcutaneous tissues. It occurs in 11% of women. It is hereditary and congenital, so meaning it gets passed down through the female line if it's women only, although I did come across a couple of studies that said they suspect some men have it. I think it's very rare, but I don't think we can discount that. And congenital means you're born with it. So you're born with these dodgy lymphatics, okay, so nothing you can do about it. It is resistant to diet and exercise. Are you that person that's had all the diets, done all the exercise? I took a year off once when I was 36. My whole job was to go to the gym and lose weight. By the end of the year, I'd put on 2 or 3 kilos. So it is heartbreaking. I am with you on that one. It is driven by hormones, so it usually shows up in high hormonal times of our life, puberty, pregnancy, and menopause. It is driven by hormone dysfunction. So 30% of women with lipedema said to have hypothyroidism, and to me it's the missing link as to why when you've got thyroid disease and you've been put on medication and your labs are normal, we kind of know what that's about. And yet you still can't lose the weight that you put on with it. To me, this is the missing link because you've already developed the lipedema fat by then and it's already leaked out of your tissues. So it's not in a place where you can diet and exercise it away. Excess estrogen is a major driver. So if you've got any estrogenic issues like endometriosis, which I had before I had my hysterectomy, that kind of thing, then it's a driver of lipedema and fat. So obesity in itself is an organ of estrogen. Okay, so if you're overweight, that weight is estrogen. So it is a driver of lipedema. And that excess estrogen comes about from an imbalance of progesterone and testosterone. And so many thyroid women have got a massive deficiency in progesterone. Okay, which is why there's a lot of infertility in thyroid women. It becomes apparent at those high hormonal times, the puberty, pregnancy, and menopause. And it also comes about in times of extreme stress because of the excess cortisol that is produced when we are stressed. Let's get to the checklist. Excess fat, resistant to diet and exercise, incredibly painful fat when pinched or knocked. So your boyfriend, your husband, that cute kid at school may give you a little punch on the arm, in good humor because they like you, all those things, but it is excruciating, right? So that kind of thing hurts like nothing else, like having your blood pressure taken. And then your blood pressure goes through the roof and they say, oh, you've got high blood pressure. When no, you were just in excruciating pain with the cuff around your arm. On that note, you can actually ask them to take the blood pressure around the forearm because after my weight loss surgery, I came to, and that's where they had the cuff because my surgeon was switched on to lipedema and made sure that's where they took my blood pressure from. So you can ask for that. Easy bruising when there is little impact, you know, a child bouncing up and down on your knee causing bruises. That's not normal, okay, but it's normal in lipedema patients. Cuffs at the joints. So if you look at the top and bottom middle photo in these photos, set of photos, it's really obvious to see the cuffs at the ankles, and that's because the fat doesn't go down into the feet, it stops at the ankles. Legs feeling heavy and tired like cement. I can't even tell you how hard it was, or yes, I can actually, because you probably know if you're watching this video, to just go for a walk. Going for a walk was incredibly arduous, and unless I had something to take my mind off it, like walking through the shops, I wasn't interested. I always thought, oh, I'm just not a walker. I can't enjoy a walk in nature. But now that I've lost weight, I've realized it's not about walking in nature. It's about the fact that I needed shops or something to look at to distract my mind from how heavy my legs felt. So if that's you, I feel you. Okay, disproportionate legs and upper arms to the rest of the body. So this will be the size 10 top and size 16 or 18 bottoms. It could also be the size 10 top, but you need to buy a size 16, 18 top for the sleeves to fit because your upper arms are in disproportion to the trunk of your body. Hypermobile joints, so unstable joints, meniscal tears, Baker's cysts, and knee problems. In 2020, I had a double knee replacement, and by the time I went in, I had 4 meniscal tears, I had a ruptured ACL, I had a Baker's cyst and bone on bone with both knees. And by the time I had the MRI and saw the surgeon saw the images and said, can you please stop exercising? And I was like, I'm trying to lose weight. And he's like, no, you're making it worse. So please, before you continue to try and exercise your way out of what you think is your problem, have the scans done. Make sure you're not making things worse for yourself. Other comorbidities include lymphedema. Now, the difference between lipedema and lymphedema is symmetry. So in lipedema, it's symmetrical. So you'll see both sides of the body the same. In lymphedema, that happens when a lymph node has been removed, sometimes after cancer or that sort of thing, or it's been damaged, then one side will blow up bigger than the other. So that's lymphedema. Now, lipedema can grow into lymphedema if it is left unchecked and it gets out of control. It can damage the lymph nodes and cause lymphedema, causing something called lipolymphedema, which is very, very hard to come back from. Obesity, and that's probably because we don't want to exercise because it hurts so much, and we are depressed because we don't know what's wrong with us. So we eat the comfort food, we eat the carbs that make us feel good, we don't exercise because it hurts. Like it's just this circle that you can't seem to get out of. These are some other things that I found through watching YouTube videos of people with the issues, doctors talking about it, lipedema organizations talking about it, and this is a very interesting set of extra symptoms. So fatigue, dizziness and migraines, organ prolapses, urinary incontinence, I'm assuming from the organ prolapse, extremely lumpy cellulite because it's actually lipedema fat balls, not cellulite, visible veins in the legs, arthritis, inflammatory issues, POTS, mitral valve disorders, so all heart disorders, venous insufficiency, and Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is also a syndrome around the hypermobile joints. Theories. And they're all just theories because there is no conclusive cause of this because there's not enough people researching it yet. Okay, so this is what I found so far looking around. And they are increased levels of platelet 4 factor, a cytokine that appears to be increased in women with lipedema that causes severe inflammation. And the other thing I found, which was even less information about, was a missing peptide in the gut. Now, when I went to the surgeon that I chose for weight loss surgery, he was aware of the missing peptide in the gut in women with lipedema. He didn't know much about it, but he was aware that they're researching this. So, and that's why bariatric surgery had an impact, because you're messing with the gut hormones, right? You're cutting away the gut hormones. So what can be done? So the number one is surgery to remove the lipedema fat. Unfortunately, limited doctors are really familiar with this process and know how to do it with, extreme care and skill that lipedema requires. And it's extremely costly because it's not covered by any private health, certainly not here in Australia. So this kind of surgery, if you can get it, more power to you. But however, once you've had it done, you still have to stop it from regrowing. Okay, just keep that in mind. The second thing, bariatric surgery, it doesn't remove the lipedema fat, as you saw in the beginning photo for myself. However, it has removed the obesity. It has removed the possibility of it growing into lipolymphedema. It's helped to normalize my hormones and keep the other symptoms down at bay. Okay, so it's ticked a lot of boxes for me so far, although it hasn't removed the lipedema fat. Number 3, the carnivore keto diet. Now, I don't believe in any particular diet for any particular person. You start with what you think sounds like it might work for you, then you tweak it for you as you go along. Okay, I am following a carnivore diet for the most part now, because that's what my body is responding to the best. And whenever I go off track and the oils pop in or the processed foods pop in, so that should be your least thing that you do, is remove the oils and processed foods, then I can tell the difference. I can tell the difference in my knees, my joints, my inflammation, the weight on the scale. That's why I weigh myself every day. And because I am human and I let myself have the processed foods on a day off or a week off or on a holiday, I can very quickly see the difference on the scales. Now, I had a lovely lady say that she was so sick of seeing the processed foods being sprouted as an answer. It is not an answer to lose weight. Absolutely not. It is an answer for health, number one, and an answer to stop it coming back on. And I'm telling you that from personal experience, and that I'm consistently testing. So if you're triggered by the idea of being told to remove the processed foods, I'm willing to bet that's the one thing you do need to remove, even if what you're eating are the healthy versions of processed foods. Sorry, tough love, but I'm here to share my journey and what I've understood. So take from it what you need, leave the rest for somebody else, okay? And lastly, compressions and massage. So dry brushing, can always help the lymphatics. Rebounding will always help the lymphatics. Make sure if you have hypermobile joints, you are not using the bungee kind of rebounder. I bought a very expensive version of the bungee rebounder, and I can think of at least 2 meniscal tears that happened while I was bouncing. Not the fault of the rebounder. It's the fact that I had hypermobile, and I do have hypermobile joints. Okay, so I should only use the type of rebounder that has the hard springs. So rebounder, yes, for the lymphatics, no for the hypermobile joints, unless you get the hard spring kind, which doesn't offer that like huge gravity pull as you go down on your joints. Okay. Compressions, I cannot speak to compressions because I've not tried them, apart from compressions for under my arms, and after my arm surgery. I have not used compressions, so I cannot speak to that. I'm not your person. Lymphatic drainage, yes, I have lymphatic drainage massage as regularly as time and money permits. And this wasn't meant to diagnose you in any way. This is just a helpful checklist so that you can maybe join some dots of some unusual things and see where it takes you. And I hope it helps. I hope it does join some dots for you, some really unusual dots. There's some things in that list that I would never have joined together because I don't have them. So I'm hoping for you that it's helpful. If there's anything else that you want me to research and to look up from the perspective as a naturopath or clinical nutritionist, let me know, because I was actually blown away by the comments on the lipedema video a few videos ago. I didn't think anything of it. It's kind of like when I went to school to become a naturopath. I went there to fix my own thyroid, and it wasn't until I started my clinic hours that I discovered just how many other people out there had thyroid disease. I was in my own world about it. So if I can help people with lipedema, at least find peace in the fact that we're doing nothing wrong, right? This isn't something you've got control over to a degree. You can perhaps stop it progressing, but this isn't your fault, right? It's just unlucky draw, I guess, of the cards. So that's it for me today. I hope it helps, and I will see you on the next one.